Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer, y'all. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could, please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD today. We closed at 172.76. As you can see, we bounced off of the support down here around the 166.72 at the 167.14, not very far away. Either way, we bounced from there as a support place. So where are the trouble places, right? So as of now, support is around the 170.33. Resistance, we can say it's right here around the 170.138. We do have the 200 EMA, the 50 EMA, but a level here of 170.138 could be a rejection area also. So using that, if we should break that area, we could possibly have trouble again. The ATR trailing stop is around the 171.99. In my opinion, that's going to be a strong area of support resistance. Breaking that area of resistance, we could possibly have trouble again. 172.27, not very far away. So however, should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again. 172.72, 173.10, 173.74, again at 174.36. And should we break that level for AMD today, 175.16 could be a rejection area. Breaking that brings us back to this area here, which is around the 175.58. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas of rejection or resistance areas. Now, back to the downside, let's say we break under this 170 area, we could very well come back to this area around the 169.54. Breaking that, something held us up here at the 168.97. Something held us up in this area, so it could possibly be another support area for us. 168.97 for AMD. Breaking that brings us back to the 168.61, and breaking that brings us back to this level of 167.66. Should we break that, 167.14 is within reach, and breaking that brings us back to the 166.79. So if AMD is something that you trade today, I say it so often, y'all, trade carefully. Why? Because in this market, anything is possible. So we are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 182.70, and it too has found some support down here at this 179.03. We bounced from there only to come back up to this level. That ATR trailing stop is our rejection area as of now. So support is around the 182.14. We can say the resistance is somewhere around the 182.55. Let's say right here. That is a rejection area, and I'm going to point that out because we have the body of this candle here and the high of this candle here. Price is stopping us in that area. Again, this candle has not closed yet, so I definitely need to watch. I need to clear that. Definitely need to watch that level of 182.56 for NVIDIA. Should we break that level, we could possibly have trouble again somewhere around the 182.93. I'm just going to see where price gathered together here. So at 182.93, should we break that level, 183.30, and breaking that brings us back to somewhere around the 183.92. Breaking that, we can continue to make higher highs for NVIDIA. Let's say that. Now back to the downside, let's say we break under the 182.14. There's a few moving averages as of right now. We could use that as a support area. Breaking that brings us back to 181.53. Breaking the 181.53 for NVIDIA today, we could possibly come back to this area and find support around the 181.07, 180.78, and y'all see the 200 EMA is really close to that level we have marked. I really like to see those, right? So breaking that brings us back to the level of 180.36. Breaking that brings us back to 180.12, which is where our ATR trailing stop is forming exactly at that place. I just like that. So should we break that level for NVIDIA today, right here at this 180.12 area, we could possibly come back to around the 179.93, and breaking that level, 179.73, breaking that for NVIDIA, 179.51. And should we break that 179.16, could be a support area. Should we break that, we have an area here around the 178.86. So those are possible areas of support and resistance for NVDA. Again, not financial advice, y'all. I said often I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are, right? So we are now looking at the SPY. We closed at 637.18. It seems to be trading sideways. So is it setting us up for a move higher or back to the downside? That's why it's so important that we trade what we see, right? So as of now, the SPY support is around, let's say, this level of 638.02. Well, we could use this area here as a support area, 638.30. Why? Because price is here, right? And again, this candle has not closed yet. So we can say support 638.30 to the upside. We could possibly get rejected here, 638.72, and breaking that 639.08. Now breaking that 639.08 for the SPY, we could possibly have trouble 639.64, and breaking that brings us back to around the 640.28. Breaking that 640.28, guess what? We can continue making new highs, right? So let's look back to the downside for the SPY today. Should we break under or lose support here at the 638.30, we can come back to 638.02, and breaking that, something stopped us in this area here at the 637.66 area. I look at here and I go here, right? So 637.66, breaking that, we could possibly find support 637.46, not very far away. If you're using your moving averages, 637.24 is the 50 EMA as of now. Breaking that level, 637.08. Should we break that 636.66 is our ATR trailing stop. Again, in my opinion, strong support for the SPY today. Should we break that area, we could very well come back to 636.34, and breaking that brings us back to 635.89, which puts us in this area here. So if you're trading the SPY today, these are possible areas of support and resistance. Now breaking this 635.89, we could very well come back to 635.40 again here at 634.85, and y'all see that 200 EMA is right at a level that I have marked here around the 634.36 area. So again, if you're trading the SPY today, I say trade carefully. Mark your levels, and once it goes against your Y, get out. And I do apologize again, y'all, that my SPY and Tesla charts are very congested, and I know that I probably need to clean some of this up, but guess what? It works for me. I know where my support is and I know where my resistance is. So with that being said, looking at Tesla, we closed at 329.65, and I always go to the gathering spot where price is gathered here, right? So it seems like support as of now is this 334.77. We tried to break through this area here of 635. I mean, did I say 335.45? Okay, support is around the 334.75, resistance 335.48. Should we break that 335.45 or 335.48 area for Tesla, we could possibly have trouble again, 335.90, breaking that 336.16. Should we break that, guess what? The next level I have is 337.33. However, we could very well get stopped out in this area here, so trade carefully if Tesla is something that you trade. Now, should we break this level, 337.33, we could possibly have trouble again, 338.36, and again, 338.83. Breaking that 338.83, 339.19 could be a rejection area. Now, should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again, 340.12. Those are possible areas of resistance or rejection areas for Tesla. Now back to the downside, let's say we break under the 334.25 area, which is here. We could possibly come back to this area, which is around the 333.77. Breaking that, we could possibly come back to the 333.13. Keep in mind, there's a few layers of support here for Tesla. So breaking the 332.99 area, we could very well come back to 332.58. And again, there's a few layers of support down to this level of 331.84. So let's say from 332.58 down to, we can use the ATR around the 331.28 area, we could very well find support. Now, if we should break this area, that means we've broken through a few layers of support. So very well come back to the 331.04. I'm going to see if I can make that. Yes. So the 331.04 area which is, let's say, around this area here. Breaking that brings us back to the 330.83, and then breaking that 330.66, 330.49, 330.38. Those are possible areas of support or places that could very well hold us up or stop us from declining here. So if you're trading Tesla today, again, there's a few layers of support at that 330.88 down to the 330.38 area. Now breaking that brings us back to the 329.81, 329.68, breaking that level, 329.37 down to the 329.02. Anywhere we can get stopped out anywhere in between this. So if Tesla is something that you trade today, y'all, I say it often, trade carefully, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, get out. Whatever reason you got into the trade, if it goes against that, get out so we can live to trade another day, right? So we're now looking at Meta. We closed at 769.30. It seems to be trading in a gathering spot, and we're going to mark those levels. Are the consolidation area. Let me say that right. Support here, 769.50. Resistance around the 770.53. That is the zone that Meta has been trading in, right? It looks like we're trying to break out of that. So back to the upside, if we can get back above around the 771.38 could be a trouble place, and breaking that 772, something stopped us here. Breaking that 772 area, the next level that I have marked for Meta is 774.03. Now if we break that 774.03 today, 775.96 could be a rejection area, and breaking that level, 778.43, breaking that 778.43 for Meta, 780.60, and should we break that 780.60, the next level is around the 784.75, but keep in mind anything can stop us out in this area here. So if Meta is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully. Now under this level, let's say the 769.50, y'all see the ATR trailing stop and 50 EMA is around the 768.84. That could be a strong area of support for Meta today. Breaking that, we could very well come back to the 767.11. And if you're using your moving averages, the 200 EMA as of now, 766.72 could be a support area for us. Breaking that brings us back to 765.16. And should we break that level, 764.27, again here at 762.42. 762.84, and if we should break that level, 761.69. So if Meta is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully, y'all. So we do have a few inside day candles, and I just like to give the trigger to that, meaning if we break beyond this level, this is the possible target, or if we break under this level, this is our target to the downside. So Amazon, AMZN, is an inside day candle above 223.86. We have an upside target today for Amazon, 226.22. Now to the downside, under 221.91, downside target for Amazon today, 220.75. Amazon is an inside day candle. And Disney is next on the list. If by chance you're trading Disney today above 114.23, upside target 116.40. Now to the downside, under 111.98, downside target for Disney today is around the 111.79. It seems like it's trading in this gathering spot here. So right now our support level is 112.75. Can we come down to this area? We very well can. If you're trading Disney today, again, it is an inside day candle. DVN Energy, or DVN, is next on our list as an inside day candle above $33.54. Upside target today for DVN, $33.66. Yes. Now to the downside, under 32.36. Downside target for DVN Energy today is $32.27. It too seems to be trading in this little gathering spot. The zone as of now, support is around that $33.32. So if DVN Energy is something that you trade today, I said often trade carefully. Intel, INTC, has already reached that target. I like to see those, right? So the trigger was $20.03. Target was $20.45. It has made a pre-market high of $20.60. So can we get rejected and come back to the downside? Absolutely. Let's say we break back under the $20.03, come back down to the $19.60, break through that, the $19.58 is the target for Intel. Let's go see how much Intel normally moves per day. just 77 cents. So if that is something that you trade, the ATR is 77 cents again in either direction. So I said again, y'all, trade carefully. IWM is an inside day candle for today. So if we should break above this level of 221.59, upside target 222.82. Now to the downside under 219.73, downside target for IWM today is 218.47. Y'all, I would say mark your levels, and once it goes against your Y, get out. IWM normally moves $3.44 per day. That is the ATR. Again, not financial advice. If that's something that you trade, just mark your levels. Let's say Microsoft is also an inside day candle today above 524.60. We have an upside target today 527.99. To the downside under 519.18, downside target today for Microsoft 516.97. And let's see how much Microsoft normally moves per day. $10.72. That is the ATR, which is the average true range of that stock. So if that's something that you trade, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully. Now, this is what I see when I look at the market, y'all. I say it often, there's so many different ways to trade the market. And what's challenging at times is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you, and then having the discipline to execute your plan. Make sure that you have a plan before going into the trade. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, if you could, please like, share, subscribe. Y'all, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.